Hey guys, welcome to Coffee Combos. Hey Linz.
Good morning.
No, we're not doing that.
Why aren't you that person?
I'm not that person because there was rats and roaches in my hotel room last night.
First of all, you need to back up because you need to tell everybody the backstory about how you found the rats.
Well, I didn't find them. I just heard
I found
them.
the roach.
Last night, so the first night when I got to this hotel, I slept with the TV on, which I go back and forth with.
And we're not going to say the name of the hotel because we're not trying to, like, bash people.
Right,
We're just
and
giving
I'm really
a story.
not trying to, whatever. I am going back and forth with sleeping with the TV on and off. So the first night I got here, slept with the TV on, didn't hear anything but the TV, obviously. The second night, which was last night, I slept with the TV off. And at like 1:15, 1:30, I woke up and I heard this like the scratching and like the squealing and like it almost sounded like they were chewing.
They were having sex.
They were probably having sex in the walls. So at first, when I first heard it, I thought maybe I'm crazy and I'll go back to sleep. But like, I don't know. I wasn't really sure. So again, I wake up later on and I hear the same thing. So at this point, I literally like I'm smacking the headboard of the walls because I couldn't sleep because of this sound. It was terrible.
I only do that when I hear people having sex at hotels. That's actually my biggest fear.
But I was just like, this is the first time that's ever happened to me, and I sleep in a hotel like once or twice a month. So I'm just like, why am I hearing rodents? And maybe it wasn't rats, but there was definitely rodents in the walls. And you're laughing, and I was like mortified. I said, if something comes out of the vents, because rats and mice can squeeze through literally the tiniest crevices.
I've never seen a rat or a mouse at my house, but I think oh, no, I lied. Go ahead, but I'll tell you the story in a second.
They can squeeze through really, really small places. So I'm like, if this thing comes through the vent and crawls across me, I'm going to lose my shit.
What would you have done if it like really did? Like, what would have been your reaction if you saw it on the ground?
And I would probably freak out. So the people next to me would have heard me screaming because that's not okay. Mm-hmm. And then the hotel really would have heard me bitch them out.
Yeah. See, I think I would have passed out so they wouldn't have had to worry about me bitching. Like if I saw a rat I'm terrified of rats, like literally terrified. Rats and snakes freak me out so bad.
Well, I mean,
like,
yeah.
Snakes, oh my God, just like, they're kind of like cats to me. Like cats really freak me out too. Like,
and it's weird because like if I saw like a rat or a mouse in a cage or something, it's not going to freak me out as much, but just not like the fear of the unknown. Like it was dark in there. I don't know if they were like crawling around. I don't know. Like, not
it also freaks
there.
me out at PetSmart.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if I don't know they're there and they're crawling over my body while I'm asleep, that's disturbing. And the fact that you found a roach in my bed and you didn't tell me until the next day, you need to tell the people.
Okay, well, in my defense...
Okay, first of all, I had to do some branded content for my Instagram last night. So Lindsay's helping me get everything together and I'm taking the products out of the packaging. And so I walk away to go take the content on my phone and Lindsay's like getting it all organized, I guess. Or she's like looking for like the name brand, like the...
I was the professional organizer.
Correct.
And I was helping Kail stay organized.
It was like spread out on my bed. Mind you, there's 2 beds in the room that I have.
Yep.
One bed I didn't sleep in, and there was like probably like my clothes on it or something. And then the bed that I slept on was the bed that we like spread the clothes out so that we could figure out what we were going to do.
And then when Kail was in the bathroom, I saw a roach crawling on her bed. And I almost screamed when I saw it because I just saw like this little like...
How big was it?
It was like...
Oh, it was big.
Obviously, like for the listeners, okay. What would you say size-wise? Like
like bigger than a quarter. Like it was like probably like a $50.
What's that $50 called? Who's on it? Who's on the $50?
I think
Susan B. Anthony.
No, it's a guy with the ponytail. Thomas Jefferson.
Is not on the $50.
Let me see.
It's a lady.
Seriously? Then I'm thinking of a different coin.
I'm almost certain that it's a lady.
$50.
It's like Susan B. Anthony.
No, it's a man, and it's Kennedy.
Should have known
But that's not what...
That's not on the $50.
Yes, he is.
They changed it then. I'm almost certain it was a lady. What's Susan B. Anthony?
Oh, and Thomas Jefferson is on a coin. I was right. I knew it.
What, the penny?
No. I just said Kennedy.
Okay. So it was like a $50 size. But the weird thing was the leggings were all like black and dark colored. So they were like navy black. So I saw like it hanging out underneath like one of the pants.
That's what I'm telling you. I thought when you told me that maybe it came from the package with all the clothes in it, because maybe it came from a warehouse.
But wait a second.
But it was alive. That was the problem.
That's the problem. So I saw it like hanging halfway out, like partly underneath the thing. I think it was trying to hide. And when I lifted up the thing, I saw it and I almost screamed, but I was like, oh, I can't scream because she won't go to sleep tonight if I tell her that it's here. So I like quickly like flinged it off the bed. I like flicked it. And it like went off the bed. So it's probably still in your room somewhere. I don't know. But I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to not sleep. And then you would be a grouch in the morning whenever I showed up.
But I was already hearing rats in the night. So
but I didn't know you were going to hear rats at the night. So I was like,
I would have slept on a couch in the lobby. Like I really would have.
I would have slept on the roof of this hotel if I found out that there was rats. Literally would have slept on the roof of the hotel.
But like,
do you want me to tell you about my mice story?
Hold on, because do you think that the roach could have survived in that Fabletics bag?
No, Kail, you literally brought that Fabletics bag all the way from fucking Delaware. It was probably at your house for like 12 weeks before you even opened it. And then you brought it on a plane.
No, I opened it here. I didn't even open it at home and bring it with me. I literally waited. And
That's my whole point. It's probably been at your house for months. And also, you brought it all the way from Delaware to Atlanta. Like, that roach could not have lived that long.
So it was in the hotel.
It had to have been at the hotel. And it makes sense if you heard rats and there was a roach the size of a $50, then it makes sense that it would have been from here. So do you want to hear my story?
I do. I want to hear it.
Okay. So I was walking outside, having a phone call. I had just gotten home, like driving, and I was finishing my phone call before I went into the house. Didn't want to disturb Will and Jackson with my fuckery. So sitting on my front porch, and all of a sudden, this is no lie, I'm sitting on my front porch, and I see this tiniest, cutest mouse.
The cutest mouse.
And it was on its hind legs, walking.
No.
I'm not making it up. It was on its hind legs, like that.
It might have been, but it wasn't walking like that.
And it was like looking around, like fastly, like jerking its head around. And then I thought, oh my God, like there's got to be a mom somewhere because it was so tiny.
Oh, it was a baby.
It was a baby.
Do mice stay with their
and it was
offspring?
Well, it had to have been born from somewhere. So was
I
it
know
born around my
that,
house?
but I'm saying probably not. I mean, outside there's rodents everywhere.
No. So I saw
a mouse in my driveway once.
I didn't tell Will about it because I was afraid he was going to go and get a mouse trap and kill it.
Yeah, that's sad. But then
And
also, if
bad.
there's one, there's probably multiple.
That was my point. I was like, there's got to be a bigger one somewhere.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it again.
I saw one in my driveway like 2 years ago.
It was
and
literally
I never
like
saw another
fucking
one.
Stuart Little.
It was probably cute, huh?
Yeah, it was like Stuart Little. I just imagined like it brought me back to my childhood.
What like a natural like cruelty-free repellent of mice would be.
I don't know, but it's
and then just
definitely
put it around
not
the
a
house.
mousetrap.
Well, right.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
All right, guys, let's take a second to talk about subscription boxes because we all love them. From food boxes to wellness boxes, they're all the rage. So what about a subscription box for your kids that's fun, educational, and helps them develop creative confidence to change the world?
KiwiCo is the subscription box that you and your kids will love. You know how kids are. They're always saying they're bored and they want to be in front of the screens, but this will be the solution.
What's great is KiwiCo gives your kids fun, engaging projects that teaches them about STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. They have boxes for every age from 0 to 16 and older.
The box comes with all the supplies you need to make something really cool. We actually just did 2 boxes. Lincoln and Isaac are both in different age
like different
groups
box
as far as the
categories.
Yes,
yeah.
they have different box. Mm-hmm. So Isaac's was super cool. We actually got to build a robot that like goes on its own, and I thought that was so cool. So
it's really cool.
yeah, it was really cool, and I think it was just like a fun way to kind of like end the summer on something like to prepare them to get back to school.
I love it.
Yeah. So KiwiCo is a convenient, affordable way to encourage your children to be anything they want to be. There's no commitment if you want to cancel at any time, and the monthly options start at $19.95 a month, including shipping. And for our listeners, you can go to kiwico.com/coffee and get your first month free. Every day counts when it comes to making a difference, so don't miss out on something this amazing. Again, go to kiwico.com/coffee and get your first month free. That's kiwico.com/coffee.
One time my parents had a rat at their house.
Like a rat or like a mouse?
I mean, it was huge.
Oh.
Like it was
I don't know
huge.
how big mice can be.
It looked like it probably ate all of the mice in the house. And then it like grew to be like a size of a cat.
I know rats are really smart. Are mice as smart as rats?
Are rats smart?
Yeah. They use them in a lot of like animal testing, don't they? You've never seen like them go through the mazes to get to things and like they're like people keep them as pets. Yeah. People keep them as pets and they're really smart.
That's terrifying. Have you ever seen somebody feed a mouse to a snake?
Mm-hmm. I have.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
They freeze them, right? But are
Some
they
of them,
frozen alive?
That I don't know, but I do know that sometimes the snakes like the live ones and sometimes they freeze them. So it
I know,
really
but
depends.
I'm saying like when they get frozen, do they put them in the freezer alive and they just die of frostbite?
Yikes.
I'm asking.
I don't know. I'm not an expert.
You're not an expert.
No.
Okay, so if your kids asked you if you...
No, I'm not getting them any... No, we're done.
So they're not getting like...
They're not getting
a snake?
reptiles.
Like what if
they're
they
not
wanted
getting
a hamster?
rodents. No, they're not getting
None.
any of them. And it's funny because we were in Hawaii. Addie loved the lizards. Like she kept catching them and then she let them go.
I used to love lizards.
She loved them.
I
and
took
then
it for
she
show and tell when I was in kindergarten.
told everyone how she wants a pet snake. And Leah was like, absolutely not. I'm not getting you a snake.
No, because it would probably be like wrapped around her neck whenever she woke up in the morning.
Or she probably would just never let it like put it down.
Right, yeah.
I'm not. We're not doing that.
Do you remember, speaking of show and tell, do you remember show and tell? Like
Yeah,
when
they
you were
call
a
it
little kid?
share and tell at my kids' school.
I don't even think they do it anymore.
Oh, we do.
You do?
Yeah, they do. And I always like, sometimes I forget.
Jackson said the other day going to school, he was like, well, whenever I find out about show and tell, I'm bringing my dog. And I'm like, but
You
you're
can't
not.
do that.
Like, you can't bring your dog to school. I took, for my first show and tell ever, I took a green lizard that I found in my grandparents' yard, and then it died 2 days later.
Yeah, I want to...
But I got it a habitat, like...
Yep.
Everything.
Me and my childhood best friend went to a fair and they were selling like these little green lizards and like we bought them habitat. Like her mom gave her a lot of money and like I was sent with no money and she dropped us off and we bought them like the habitats and everything.
Yeah.
And then
why did we do that when we were
But then
kids?
we told our parents that we won them because then they couldn't, you know what I mean? Like we won them on accident.
So it was like, as we were talking about in the episode before, a couple episodes ago, it's like, it's special to me.
This lizard, I won
very
it.
Special
and
to
it's
me.
very special to me.
I wonder if we did that to our parents. Like, this is very special.
I'm not letting my kids keep any rodents. Like you, or like reptiles. Like I don't care if they won them or not. You can give it back to the fair. Take it back. Someone else can win it.
Every time we go to PetSmart, Jackson starts looking at the hamsters and I'm like, or guinea pigs. And I'm like, please, God, do not ask for this.
No.
Because first of all, I'm going to have to tell you no.
Right.
And two, I'm not cut out for that kind of work, you know?
I'm
afraid to get loose.
Like conversation with my friends. Like there are animal people and like certain kids, like I have cousins that are obsessed with their dog. Like they got the dog and now like the dog opens the Christmas gifts before they do. Like they fight over who's walking the dog, like stuff like that. They love their dog.
Nobody does that.
I have dogs. I have my 2 dogs that I've always had since they were born. And then I have the Frenchies that Chris and his mom have that I got them. And
yeah, can you clarify that before?
Oh, everyone asks me where the dogs are. Okay, well, Penny, we still have her. Chris's mom has her. Their dog had passed away a few years back, and then his mom just really bonded with Penny, so she has Penny. And
I loved that name when you got that dog and named her Penny.
Yeah, I
was
loved
like,
it. Thought it was so cute. And then I had gotten Gotti for Chris years ago, and their half brother and sister. So we still have them all. I have Gizmo and Bear, obviously. And then...
but I think people didn't realize that you bought the dog for Chris, and it was always Chris's dog just because
it was like, always Chris's dog.
Just because it was in like Snapchat or
But
Instagram.
sometimes, like, if he has stuff going on or working or whatever, like, if we're exchanging the baby, sometimes I'll take the dog too. Because if he's not home, then what's the point? You know what I'm saying?
That's common sense.
And also, like, for the penny thing, they're like, oh, how could you just give your dog away? Well, if someone in the family is bonding with this dog more than I am, and I'm traveling all the time and having to put the dog in the kennel all the time, why wouldn't she just keep Penny?
Right, yeah.
Like, I know she's really well, like, that dog is so well taken care of that it's just like, and to be perfectly honest, what I was getting to that actually, like, proves my point too is, like, my kids don't, like, they like our dogs, but they're not actively, like, helping to take care of them.
Jackson's obsessed with Della.
Right.
Like I have to spank him. That's what I was sometime. Like,
sometimes the people are obsessed with their dogs. Like, my kids don't. And I don't know if it's because they've had them since we've had them since before they were born.
I think that might have something to do with it. Because, see, we didn't get Della until Jackson was almost 2 years old.
So he, like, formed a bond with her. Like, I had gotten Bear when Isaac was almost 2 or just after 2.
Does Isaac care more about Bear than your other kids?
He loves Bear, of course. But I just don't think that my kids are, like, they're not dog lovers. So, and I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're never going to hurt them or anything, but they just don't really love to, like...
You would be amazed, though, if the dogs weren't there, how much they would ask for them.
Well, but then I'm not proving my own point because Lux loves the dogs. Lux loves the animals. He loves the dogs. He loves the cat that they have at Chris's house. He loves the animals. So I don't know.
Yeah, Jackson asks for a cat all the time, and I'm like...
I don't mind cats.
So apparently, Will's dad took Jackson to PetSmart, and they went into the section, you know, where it had, like, cats for adoptions?
Yes.
Well, first of all, that place smells like hell.
I know.
Like,
that's why they need homes so bad.
Horrible. And if you're listening, if you want a cat, you should definitely adopt them because there are so many cats that need to be adopted. Like, PetSmart has them, the Pound has them, like, overabundance of cats.
Oh, I know. When I did community service in high school, I worked at this, like, shelter for animals, and there, compared to the dogs at the time that I was working there was maybe 8, maybe 10 dogs, and there was probably over 100 cats.
Oh, yeah. There's so many.
So think about your new home. I just moved, and this is perfect, but try to imagine it looking way better. It's hard, right? So it's impossible for about 99% of the population to, like, really imagine their way of life and their space to look better. So that's why you need Modsy.
Modsy.com is the revolutionary online interior home design service that starts at just $69.
That's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the cost of hiring an actual interior designer, and it's so much easier. So you take a few photos and measurements of your space, furniture and all, and then you take their style quiz, and the Modsy designers create 2 custom design plans just for you.
So I recently just did this for my office. I had posted some pictures on Instagram, and I'll have to show you guys my design as well. It just helped me put everything together, and I'm also using it for my spare room too. So I love it. Modsy is groundbreaking 3D technology that lets you see different layouts and tour your virtual space. With their price matching guarantee and exclusive savings, you can shop all the beautiful furniture in your Modsy designs all at once in just one easy checkout. You get unlimited revisions, plus Modsy guarantees you land on a design you love or you get your money back.
This month only, when our listeners go to Modsy.com, start a design project, and use our code COFFEE, you'll get 20% off. That's 20% off for our listeners at Modsy.com, code COFFEE. MODSY.com, code COFFEE.
So I guess they went out on a little Papa and grandson spree. They went to Target and bought everything Spider-Man that they had. And then I guess Jackson asked to go to PetSmart because he probably wanted to look at the cats because he's convinced that, like, eventually I'm not going to be allergic to cats. It's like, yeah, I'm not
Take a Benadryl, you'll be all right.
I'm not really a cat person anyway, but, like, the fact that I'm allergic to it and they could probably cause me to die, like,
just take a Benadryl or 2.
I can't. So Jackson goes into the little adoption room, and I guess there's some guy that's like overseeing it. So my father-in-law tells me that Jackson has this full-blown like adult conversation with this man about how he would love to be able to home one of these cats. However, my mom would not let that happen because she's allergic and would cause her to have bad rashes.
Bad rashes. Aww.
But he loves cats, and I don't know where he gets it from. Like, I don't
And they
understand.
really just take care of themselves. The only thing that bothers me is when they jump up on the counter. I had a cat growing up, and my mom, I don't know if she sprayed it with a water bottle at first or what to train it, but this cat that I had growing up never jumped up on counters. Like, that was the one thing that I know he never did. And he was just like a cool cat. Like, he just didn't bother anybody.
See, I also don't like people with cat-like personalities because I feel like they're unpredictable, you know? Like, I feel like cats are so unpredictable.
How?
They don't need you for anything, really.
That's like, yeah. I mean, that's amazing. You can literally set up litter boxes, like clean litter boxes for the week and food and drink for the week. Maybe have someone come check on him to make sure that he's good or, you know, whatever. And you can leave for a couple
like, maybe
days.
that's something wrong with me that I don't want something that doesn't need me. Is that like a mental disorder? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Then I've got that. Cats are just weird. Like, they don't need you. Their spines are freaky. Like, when they like go up and it looks like Halloween.
Yeah.
Whew. I'm like, boo. I'm so scared. Yeah. And cats, like, their tongues like freak me out.
But a dog doesn't freak you out.
At all. No, not at all.
Huh.
But Jackson loves Della. Like, literally, I'll catch him in the dog bed. And I'm like, that's her personal space. Like, you have to get out. Like, would you want her to be, like, sleeping all over your bed? He's like, of course.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, well, it's not happening. And that wasn't the response I was looking for.
So she doesn't sleep with you guys?
No. But Will would love to let her sleep with us. But I feel like kind of like a baby in the bed, you know? It's like I'm constantly on guard of, oh, I'm going to roll over on her, or, oh, she's going to fall off the bed. I mean, Della falls asleep and falls off the back of the couch. So it's like, can I really trust her in the bed? Like,
right.
She'll fall off. And Della sleeps upside down, like on her back, belly up, with her legs straight up in the air. I'll take a picture of it. Actually, I have a picture of it on my phone. I'll show you.
That's really
weird. It's really weird. Yeah, it's really weird. But back to like the rodent and like the reptile thing. Is it true that like you swallow 7 spiders or something like that a year?
I think so.
Is it 7?
I think it's something like that. Yeah, and like
chocolate
bars, like anything that's produced in like a factory, like a food, like chips.
Yeah, they say peanut butter.
Peanut butter, chocolate, like they all have some type of like insect remnants.
No, because I have gone through a jar of peanut butter to see if that was true, and I didn't find anything. Like, I didn't find anything.
I mean, I'm sure maybe 1, that jar didn't have it, and 2, I'm sure it would be grinded up or whatever.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And you just disgusted me.
Right.
I'm disturbed. So it would be grinded up. It wouldn't be whole.
I mean, I would imagine. I mean, I'm sure people have found the stories that we are probably going to get from this. Pictures of things in food. I don't want to see them, so don't show me ever because I will vomit.
Me, though.
No, I don't. Don't send them to me. I don't want to see them. No.
Don't send it to Kail, but send it to me and also Coffee Convos, so Kail also has to see it.
Like,
because then you technically didn't
when
send
you
it just to her.
get something like that, like say there's like an insect or like a rodent or something in your food or whatever the case is that a lawsuit or is that like the risk that you take by buying something made from a factory?
I think it's just a risk you take.
Got it.
I think it's just life, you know?
But then it's also like unsanitary if you're allowing, like, if this happens.
But like maybe it's just a myth. So does anybody know, do you swallow 7 spiders a year or do you not? And I don't sleep with my mouth open, so I don't know how it would get in there.
It can still crawl in other holes. Remember, did you ever see...
like your vagina? Like it's not going to crawl up your vagina. Like
Chelsea had tweeted about, and I think she talked to us, maybe she talked to us about, I don't know. A spider crawled in her ear in the night, and she heard it.
I heard
she was like, she tweeted about it.
What? She
heard
it?
It like crawled all the way in her ear.
Like she heard it scraping?
Yes.
Oh no.
In the middle of the night. And so she said for weeks she slept with a headband over her ears.
I definitely would have done that too.
But like
to
she
close
heard
my
it.
holes.
Like just like feeling it is one thing, but to like hear it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No. That's kind of like the rats.
It was like the rats last night. And
like I don't know if I would have.
Oh my God. And when I was hitting the wall to like make them go away, I was like, now they're going to run through the vents. Like they're going to come in the room now.
Yeah. They probably like just shit everywhere when you did that. Probably scared them to death. Oh my God. Speaking of ears though, I know that you've told me about this before, that you hate like having nude ears.
Yeah, I forgot my earrings.
I feel like I can't go about my day with my ears.
It's just like, I don't feel like my outfit for later is going to be complete. Mm-hmm. It was so funny because I remember Nick and Jamal from our podcast episode. So I think Nick tweeted about it, and Jamal has his ears pierced, and they tweeted about it literally the other day. And I was like,
what did they say?
They were tweeting about the same thing. Like Nick was like, I hate when I forget my earrings. Like I feel bare.
I feel naked.
And I was like, the fact that I forgot my earrings after just reading that too, it was like, and I left the earrings in my car because I was like, oh, I'll just grab them on the way out.
Yep.
Forgot them.
I lose earrings all the time.
But I can only wear real jewelry, and it sucks because sometimes it's like I can't just run out and get like a quick pair of earrings from Target because my ears will swell up and pus right away.
Oh my God. So I have a story about that actually. So Will was thinking he was being like really nice, and he bought me some earrings that I wanted. I was like into like pearl stuff for a while. So that's super grandma of me, but I wanted like a pearl ring, and I wanted like pearl, like tiny, like pearl earrings. Like I just
went through a phase
of thinking that I was like 95. So Will goes to Costco because they have like a pretty good jewelry section at Costco, and he buys me these earrings. Well, I have always had an issue with like real, is it like metals or whatever in my ears?
Like so nickel or like...
Yeah. I've always had a problem with it. So I can wear like stuff from like freaking Claire's in my ears. But if I put like a gold earring in...
Like real gold?
Yeah, like real gold. It will literally, like what you're talking about that happens with like
nickel?
Fake stuff.
Yeah.
That happens to me with real stuff.
What?
Like it will be but like not only just like my ears literally feel like they are bleeding.
That's how it feels when I put nickel in them, like instantly.
And I have a rash like on the outside of my ears, like on the front and the back.
With gold.
Yes, but Will was so proud of these earrings that he got me. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to try to wear them. But they also had, okay, you know, like the protective backs, like
the plastic ones, like with the plastic.
Well, like the ones that like you screw on. So like,
so they don't fall out.
They don't fall out. Mm-hmm. So also the ones that screw on, it's almost like a screw back part, you know? So it's like it's screwing into it.
Yep.
So it's a little bit thicker. Mm-hmm. So I go to put it in my ears, and I'm like, these already hurt so bad. But I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So I wore them. And then my ears the next day felt like they were bleeding. They were like literally throbbing. And he was like telling me that my earrings looked nice and like everything. And I was like, Will, I like hate to have to tell you this, but
I'm allergic to them.
I'm allergic to them. They've got to go back because they're basically going to make me die.
Dramatic.
And I couldn't put earrings in for like weeks.
Yeah, I bet, because they were so swollen. That's how I get about fake earrings, which is so weird because like if I wear like a ring that has nickel, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. It's something with the ears. I don't know what it is.
And it's weird because like I've had my ears pierced for years, so it's not like
how
they're like.
How old were you when you got ears pierced?
Well, I
was an infant.
I got my pierced when I was in like kindergarten, and then I let them close. And I wanted to get them done in next year. My mom got them again for me, and then I let them close. I had them pierced like 3 times.
Where did you go and get them pierced?
My mom worked at a salon for a brief period of time that did ear piercings.
Oh.
Yeah, and now I have several holes in my ears.
So like all the way up your ear?
No, I have 3. Well, I think the 3rd one might have closed. And then I have this one.
What's that called?
The rook.
Yeah.
And then I have my cartilage twice, actually.
Oh, wow.
I think it's on this one. And then I had my tragus pierced on my left ear, but it fell out, and I just was like, fuck it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
No, I have had my ears pierced since I was an infant.
Oh.
Why did my parents think that was a good idea?
I think a lot of people get their kids' ears pierced as an infant.
I feel like if I had a daughter, I wouldn't know. It's really, like, problematic because you feel naked, like, your whole life, like, if you don't have them. So I guess that's probably why I feel naked if I don't have them, because I've literally had it since I was, like, brought into this world.
I wonder if I had a daughter, what I would do.
I don't know.
Because I know, like, some go right away and do it. I don't know that I would. I'd probably, have her wait to tell me.
All right, guys, I want to remind you about this company that makes stylish shoes for women and girls out of recycled plastic water bottles. Rothy's are awesome, and they're insanely comfortable and machine washable.
Rothy's are stylish, sustainable, comfortable, and washable, and they're really an all-in-one pair of shoes. They're perfect for life on the go or just the perfect flats to dress something up. I personally love the all-white slip-on. I think that they're so great. They match everything. You can dress them up or dress them down. And Rothy's are manufactured in a zero-waste factory. They ship directly in a shoebox that is no unnecessary packaging. So these are feel-good flats in more ways than one.
They have different styles and tons of colors. Plus, Rothy's always comes with free shipping and free returns and exchanges. So there's no risk, no worries, no reason not to try. Check out all the amazing styles available right now at rothys.com/coffee. Go to rothys.com, rothys.com/coffee to get your new favorite flats. Comfort, style, and sustainability. These are the shoes that you have been waiting for. Head to rothys.com/coffee today.
Can we switch gears a little bit and talk about our, what do you call it? Like not excursion, but like what would it be called, Kail?
What do you mean?
Like our adventure to the crystal store yesterday?
Yeah. So I found a crystal store here in Atlanta, and
How did you find it?
Well, I just look around, I guess, like ask Google.
You don't want to tell me how you found it, right?
No, I just literally Googled it. I said crystal shops near me.
Oh, okay.
And then the one that came up, I forget if it was the hair and makeup girl, one of them was like, oh, we should go to this one. So I was like, actually, that's the one that came up. So all day when we were podcasting, I was like, well, do you think we'll be done by this time? Because I really need to get to the crystal shop.
Every 3 minutes, Kail was like, well, the crystal shop closes at 9, so are we going to be finishing enough time? Because I really just want to go to the crystal store. I really just want to go.
I felt like a kid.
Yeah. It was basically like somebody asking their mom to go to Toys R Us in 1990.
Yeah.
That's basically what I would equate it to.
I just need to get there before 9. And I didn't know how far it was or anything. I'm not familiar with the area. So we went, and I immediately it was like a kid in a candy shop. So I'm looking around, I'm seeing what crystals speak to me. At some point I needed a basket. I'm buying crystals in the shapes of penises. It was just, there was so many options.
We had to get into this case that was locked for a specific crystal
that I needed. Yeah.
That Kail claims that she needed.
So
also we go to Pont City Market for anybody who is familiar with Atlanta, which is the coolest place ever. Kail said it's creepy because it's industrial, I guess.
But it's cool.
No, it's cool. And I believe in these crystals, guys, because normally if I would have parked there yesterday.
Done with you.
And
you have to pay for parking right away.
You have to pay for parking right away. And there's a lot of signs everywhere you look. It says pay for parking upon arrival. I somehow managed to miss all of these signs.
I didn't see not one of them.
But there was a lot of them, right? When we were leaving, we saw them.
I didn't see any ever.
Oh, my God. So we come out, and I'm like, oh, my God. Right when we walk out of the crystal store, and get to the parking lot, I'm like, oh, my God, definitely going to have a ticket. I just started seeing all of these signs, and I was like, oh, my God. But I think it was the crystals talking to me. They were notifying me that I should have paid for parking.
Right.
And then I get to the car.
There's no ticket. We didn't have to pay for parking.
But you do have to pay for parking, but we didn't have to pay for parking. And it was a really good feeling.
Honestly. So I got Lindsie her first crystal.
Yes, she did. Tell them what it's for.
Okay, so I thought that citrine would be a good one for her first one. And I'm going to read to you what citrine is. I love it. We got it for Adam, too. Adam, for those of you who don't know, Adam is our podcast producer, and he
puts up with us
So citrine activates the second and third chakras and aids in manifestation. It promotes financial wealth, prosperity, generosity, and success. So,
and I got another one, but we forget what it was.
I want to say that is sunstone, but I don't feel like we got it from the sunstone.
But remember,
I'll look in my encyclopedia when I get home. I have a crystal encyclopedia.
Please let me know. But it basically is for heal wounds from your past.
Yep.
And to be able to move forward. So yeah, basically those were the two that I got. And I also got sage. I'm going to start saging my place. I was very unaware. The sage looked like really big and like a lot of it.
Some of them, they're like, I have a little one at home, like a little sage one, but you can get like big or you can get little.
But I was so clueless. I was like, Kail, do you burn this whole thing at once?
No.
And she's like, no, like definitely not. But how do you let it out? Like you just blow it out like a candle and it like goes away?
Like this.
Oh,
Like you can.
like you ash it
Sometimes
or
it'll go
whatever.
out on its own. It depends. Yeah.
That's like the universe speaking to you like, you're good.
Yeah. And make sure like a window or like a door is open when you do it so that the negativity can escape through.
Okay.
You don't want to like be burning it and then there's no window or door open because then you're defeating the whole purpose.
So last night I went home. It was pretty late when I went home, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was like, yeah.
I didn't get home until like 11 o'clock at night. And honestly, I feel like the crystals got me to the gas station because I was really pushing it. Like I had 3 miles left.
To the gallon.
No, I had 3 miles left. Like it had already notified me two times, low fuel. And then it had 3 miles left. And literally when I pulled into the gas station, it said no miles, refuel. But I made it there.
Have you ever run out of gas anywhere before?
No, have you?
Yes, twice.
But one time I will tell you, I ran my car like all the way to empty. And then Julie got in the car to like take it up to like Zaxby's or something. And then she broke down and then got so pissed. She was like, yeah, she broke down the side of the road.
She wasn't broke down. She just ran out of gas.
Yeah.
So she ran out of gas.
Yeah, she ran out of gas in my car, but technically it would have been like me running out of gas. But like, that's your fault for getting in it. You know?
Wait. Yikes. I ran out of gas in the middle of a highway one time.
What?
Me and Isaac were on this. Yeah. And I
like
was like
freeway?
trying to find a gas station, but it was like, one, I wasn't familiar with the area. And two, every single gas station that I found was like 8 or 10 miles away. So even if I had found one, I wasn't going to get there.
Oh my God.
So it was freezing cold. It was around Christmas time. And it was me, Isaac, and the baby. Lincoln was sick. And then one other time I ran out of gas, like when I was probably like 18 and I was going through McDonald's drive-thru and my car shut off. And I was like, what's going on here? And then it rolled to the parking spot and I had run out of gas.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So what do? You have to like walk to a gas station?
No, I just called, at that time I called like Joe's brother or something and he like brought me gas. But the time on the highway, which was actually last year, I had to call a tow truck to take me to the gas station.
I would have honestly really thought that you would have known better. But again, I just did this last night. So, but I've never broke down. I feel like I wouldn't probably run it to refuel if I'd ever broke down.
I was looking for a gas station.
But does the car just shut off?
Yeah. It'll just
and you
shut
just
off.
don't go anywhere?
No, you just don't.
Oh,
like,
no.
I was lucky enough on the highway one to be able to get to the shoulder.
To the shoulder, yeah.
Yeah, when I realized, oh, fuck.
Oh, my God.
And then you wait like 45 minutes and there's no heat and it was winter. It was literally December 28th.
And you have to go and get a tow truck.
Yeah. Well, I had to call them and I was like, do I call 911 first? Like, how do I handle this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I called the tow truck. It was fine. It just took really long time.
So back to the crystals for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So I took these home. I didn't take them out of my car because I was like, I know I'm going to want them tomorrow and I don't want to forget them. Mm-hmm. So I left them wrapped up, left them in the front seat of my car. So when I got in the car this morning, I took them out and I like held them my whole way here because it's like the girl that was at the crystal store, her name was Chris. And she was like...
She had so many in each of her pockets. She literally put her hands in both her pockets and pulled out like 5 of each in each hand.
In each hand. And so I rode with them all the way here. And I feel like it really was good for me. Yeah. I don't know like what it was good for, but...
Yeah.
But
you want to cleanse them in like salt water or... there's other ways to cleanse them. And then you can charge them in like the moonlight or the sunlight. So you can set them like on
anybody who's listening, if you're into these crystals, and Kail hates when people calls them rocks.
Yeah, 2 people in the last week have called them rocks, and I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Like it's a real thing. Kail's really into it, and I've always kind of been like curious about stuff like this, and like curious about witches and like psychics. I've always been like very curious. So I think I'm getting into this, to be perfectly honest.
You should.
And I text Will a picture of us sitting here and
with the crystals.
He was like, what are you doing? And I was like, podcasting. So I like sent him a picture, just easier to send a picture than text. So he was like, are those crystals? And I was like,
yeah,
they
I'm gonna
are.
take a picture so we can post it on
and
the page.
then he was like, wait, what are those for? And I'm like, I don't really know, but they feel good. And he's like, oh, well, I need some healing. So I'm like, well, what kind of healing do you need? The penis healing? I don't know. That was inappropriate.
I'm talking about the crystals.
The tiny Kail ball, like tiny penis crystals.
But they're like for like sexual healing and stuff like that. Like they're not meant to be inappropriate.
But like kind of.
Yeah.
Because when we were checking out, the girl was like, penises don't really look like this. The last time I saw one, she was like, the balls did not look like this at all.
They were not perky like this. For sure not.
Kail was like, definitely they were a lot saggier. Like, what?
I know you guys think about all the milestones you want to hit in life, but sometimes they feel so far away, especially if you have high credit card bills. But there's one easy way to get back on track towards your goals.
Yep, that's with Lending Club. You can consolidate your debt or pay off credit cards with one fixed monthly payment. Since 2007, Lending Club has helped millions of people regain control of their finances with affordable fixed-rate personal loans. No trips to a bank, no high-interest credit cards. Just go to lendingclub.com, tell them about yourself and how much you want to borrow, pick the terms that are right for you, and if you're approved, your loan is automatically deposited into your bank account in as little as a few days. Lending Club is the #1 peer-to-peer lending platform with over $35 billion in loans issued.
Go to lendingclub.com/combos. Check your rate in minutes and borrow up to $40,000. That's lendingclub.com/combos. lendingclub.com/combos. All loans made by Web Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
So, are you and Leah going to Miami with me for my 30th birthday?
Yeah, I'm going to try.
No,
I really am. I just need to figure out moving because I haven't moved yet. I want to settle in. I want to make sure that everything's in its place before I pick up and leave again. That's the only thing that I need to.
We're going to be like the Hangover.
Oh my! Well, I'm not the one that loses a tooth. Like I'm not.
You've got to be the one because you're the only one that has veneers. So like naturally.
So naturally, I have to lose it.
Yeah, because if we lose one, it's going to be the real one. You know what I mean? Like if you lose yours, you can just get it replaced.
I guess, but
Leah's going to be the one that loses the tooth. You can be the one that has the baby on the front.
Yeah.
And I don't know which one I'm going to be. I'm probably going to be the one passed out like on the top of the roof with the mattress.
Which one is the one that like got the tiger or something?
That'll probably be me.
That's you. Okay.
That's definitely me. It's going to be so much fun.
I love that we texted Leah last night and she was like, okay, so we're going to Miami. Like she was just like completely just on board. Okay, just to clarify, we're going to Miami. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely we are.
I've never partied in Miami, so I don't know what it's like, but I've heard it's a good time.
We're going on a boat.
That's Leah's favorite thing to do.
Favorite thing. And we're going to just have a good time. So we'll keep you guys updated. I'm turning 30, unfortunately. 30. I don't know if I'm like sad or actually
I
feel like
live
I'm
your best life in your 30s.
Super excited. But I feel like my dad might have gone through like a crisis when he turned 30. I can't remember.
That would be like a quarter life crisis though.
Yeah, but I feel like he was like sad that he was turning 30. I definitely remember that.
I heard that the best times is 30s.
Everybody keeps telling me that. Everybody tells me that, yeah.
I don't know how true it is. I heard sex is amazing in your 30s.
You did?
Yeah.
You know that?
No, I really heard that. Like, that's a real thing.
Adam, can you confirm?
Absolutely.
Phenomenal. Okay, so can you please update me on this group chat thing that you had going on about this Puerto Rico cruise ship? We're switching gears, and this is like sad.
This is really sad. I didn't actually hear about it on my own. It was sent in a group chat with my friends, and so she sent me this. One of my friends sent me this article about the little girl who fell off the cruise ship and hit the dock and passed away. And I guess the family.
So it was docked.
It was docked in Puerto Rico. The cruise ship, as far as I know, was docked in Puerto Rico. And from what I understand, the little girl was like used to like banging on the glass, I guess, at like her brother's hockey games, which is like a tradition. And the grandfather was watching the little girl, and she crawled over and she wanted to be lifted higher. So he stood her up on the railing. This is, if I'm wrong, let us know.
I'm sure
held
somebody
her
will.
up on the railing, and I think he let go for a brief second, and the window was actually open, and she fell out the window and passed away.
Oh no!
So, obviously the family's attorney was saying that the ship was at fault, but in my group chat they were debating because some of the it's me and my one friend are moms, and then the other 2 girls in our group chat are not moms. And I think that does weigh in a little bit on how you might feel about it. But one of the girls was saying it's 100% the cruise line's fault. But then the mom, my mom friends was saying that she feels like the caregiver was more at fault because as a parent and as a caregiver, you know better than to let go of a child, like a small child that you're putting on a railing. That's like sitting a child or standing the child on a counter and walking away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
just a little background information on it. People did an article. The parents did an interview for the first time after their 18-month-old passed away, or like earlier in the month, opening up on the Today Show Monday in an emotional conversation. They recalled the traumatic scene following the incident when her grandfather placed her on a railing near a window that he believed to be a closed part of a glass wall. He was extremely hysterical. The thing that he repeatedly told us is, "I believe that there was a glass." He will cry over and over, and at no point ever has Sam put our kids in danger. It just says very distraught, to the point where you can barely look at him without crying. Chloe was his best friend. I really feel for this family because
it was obviously a mistake. Like I mean, regardless of whose fault it was, it doesn't take away how horrible it is.
So apparently while in the children's play area, the Caribbean cruise ship, Chloe tragically died after she fell more than 10 stories onto a concrete dock. She was used to being next to a glass, having a habit of banging on the panels at a hockey rink while attending her brother's games and practices. So I'm confused. Was this place like in an area where all kids were playing? Because at that point, I do kind of see the argument of why wasn't there a glass if it could have been...
No, there was a glass, but it was open.
Oh.
Is what I
wonder why it was open.
Well, I mean, it's probably hot. I mean, You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you can't play the blame game here because it truly was an
tragic
accident.
Yeah.
And the parents, it's hard. It's going to be hard for them because they lost their child, but also it's one of their parents that was basically responsible for this, and that dad has to live with that for the rest of his life.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they probably can't help but to have, I mean, as a parent, you would have some sense of resentment. Like you would go through like all of the emotions, obviously, you know. That's so sad. And you and I were talking about this the other day about putting Lux into survival, like swim classes, because I feel like so many people, where was I that I was like, oh, I was at the beach.
Yeah.
When I said that, I saw a little girl, there was like 3 pools where we were staying, and it was kind of like tiered for like all ages. So there was one that was more like really shallow water, and it had the, like the mushrooms, you know, and stuff that like has the water.
Kids,
Then the next one was like a smaller little area pool, but it was deeper, but it was like really small. And then the other one was like the full size pool, and it was like 5.5 feet or something like that. So they had craft tables set up near like the really small pool, and I was watching Jackson do the crafts. And there was some parents that had gone back to their chair, maybe to get sunscreen. I don't know, you know, like something to go back to their chair, and their little girl had on a life jacket. And she fell forward, like, in the water.
Put the face in the water.
It was like 2 seconds, though. Like, fell forward, and her face was in the water, and she was like flailing around or whatever you call it. And the parents literally turned their head for 2 seconds, and when they came back to, you know, they picked her up because the life jacket had like a thing on the back. On it. Obviously, they were freaking out.
I think that's a lot of times parents don't realize that if you don't have the proper vest or it's not on properly, you can actually do more damage than good with the life vest. So like some of them are like heavier in the front, and it will literally turn your body over and put your face in the water. So
all life vests though aren't approved like by
for children.
For children, I mean, you have to check and make sure that it's like an approved. Like it's, I don't know what the thing is that like approves it, but I think puddle jumpers are approved through some type of thing, like safe for kids.
Kids wear life vests all the time that are like too high up on their shoulders, and you know that's not going to do anything. Like Lux won't wear one. So he cannot leave anyone's sight in the water. Like he won't. He freaks out. And I want to do the survival, and I actually looked into it, but I haven't been able to find anyone that will come to our pool and do it at home. Mm-hmm. And I think that the only places that you can go to are over an hour away.
Well, Jackson did...
He did regular swimming classes?
He did do regular swimming classes to get him acclimated to water, but I think the problem is that you can never turn your head with kids, like when there's water. Like you just can't. I've seen so many incidences mm-hmm. where there's almost accidents that happen that could have turned the other way. There was a little kid that a nanny was responsible for taking them to and from day camp, and the day camp had a Olympic-sized swimming pool, and it was in Atlanta. And somehow the day camp like had turned their eye, and the little kid got like in the water and had drowned by the time like the instructor was
And that was at the swim classes?
It was like at a day camp, like where they could like swim and stuff, and the kid had already drowned. So I don't know. You know, I'm like freakish about water. It literally terrifies me.
Dry drowning, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's like where they swallow water, and that's something that came about. I had never heard of it up until like 2 years ago.
I just heard about it now.
My father-in-law told me about it, and he said like, be careful with Jackson, like make sure he doesn't swallow any water, whatever. I heard about this dry drowning like on the news. It's like where they swallow water and it like gets in their lungs, and I guess...
Oh, like is it aspirate?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. It's literally terrifying. So if you're in Kail's area and you know where she lives and you know of a, what do you call it, survival swim teacher mm-hmm. that will come to her house, let us know. Maybe somebody will tell us.
Helpful. If you guys are like me and my family, you want a good night's sleep and you want your bedding to be soft and cozy, which is why we love Brooklinen.
They are so soft and such high quality. Brooklinen sheets were named the winner of the Best of Online Bedding category by Good Housekeeping.
With over 35,000 five-star reviews and over 500,000 happy sleepers, it's time for a bedding upgrade.
Founded in early 2014 by a husband and wife team who wanted hotel quality without breaking the bank, Brooklinen makes 5-star hotel quality sheets more affordable and easy to order. These are luxury sheets without the luxury markup. I personally am using the white ones on 3 of my beds right now, but I also have patterned ones as well, and I love to be able to mix them up because normally I have just like a solid comforter, so I can just mix up my sheets whenever I want a new look. And they really are so soft. They wash so well, and I love them.
I personally love the white ones. I think they're just super fresh and cozy. My Brooklinen sheets are the best, most comfortable sheets I've ever slept on, and now it's time for your upgrade. Brooklinen.com is giving an exclusive offer for just our listeners. You get 10% off your first order and free shipping when you use promo code COFFEE at brooklinen.com. Brooklinen is so confident in their product that all their sheets, comforters, and towels come with a lifetime warranty. The only way to get 10% off your first order and free shipping is to use promo code COFFEE at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com, promo code COFFEE. Brooklinen, these really are the best sheets ever.
Can we also talk about, did you see on the news about the dad that had left the twin kids in the car in New York?
Mm-hmm.
So
they both died, right?
He was an Iraq vet, and it says, this was also a People article. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but a New York City father says he forgot his 1-year-old twins in a hot car. He believed that he had dropped them at daycare, called his wife later that day asking her to pick up the kids. But at that point, the children were already dead. The man was 39 years old. He called his wife when he was leaving his job. He was a social worker at a VA hospital. And after he began driving his car, he saw his kids in the car seat in the rearview mirror. And at that point, obviously, it was like traumatic. And they're saying that he made a terrible mistake. But here's the thing. I don't want to say that he didn't make a mistake or it wasn't truly a mistake, but this is literally like a copycat case to me for the kid I told you about that passed away in Atlanta. I think it was in 2012, maybe.
Yeah, it made national news. But he actually killed his child. He was trying to kill his child.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what story we're talking about.
We've talked about it before, but go ahead.
Cooper. He passed away in the corporate Home Depot parking lot.
But he was intentionally trying to kill his child.
Well, the weird thing is
that's the story you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. But Will and I lived like not too far from there. They actually had gone to the Chick-fil-A that we frequented in the morning, like for breakfast. And he got him out of the car. They left their house, got him out of the car to go to Chick-fil-A breakfast, put him back in the car, drove to his work that was literally like, and I've traveled these roads, so I know. His work was literally 3 minutes from the Chick-fil-A. And the daycare was supposedly it was like the corporate daycare. So he never took the kid to the daycare, and he parked his car like a far away way in the parking lot.
And then lied about it.
And then supposedly he was like supposed to be he was going to lunch with like coworkers, and he was supposed to be making an exchange for like light bulbs or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they were in his car, and people were like, his coworkers were like, well, you can just drive. And he was like, no, I can't drive. Like, I don't have gas or something like that. I forget what his lie was, but the reason he went back to his car to get something out
or whatever.
And Cooper was in the car, like already, like still in the car. Like he knew it, and he left in the car. Yeah. And they had also taken out an insurance policy on the baby. Like, I think the wife knew about it too.
Oh, because that's a piece I didn't know, that the wife knew about it. Or maybe I did know, and I don't remember, but
they took out an insurance policy on him, a life insurance policy on him several weeks before this happened. So I think it was all completely premeditated. On his work computer, they had he had typed in, how hot would it have to be for a small animal to like die in a car or something. Like, it was crazy Google searches and stuff. So this case kind of like reminded me of that. I mean, obviously, like, you can forget stuff and not be mindful, but if you have two kids in the car, I highly doubt that you forgot that.
I just don't. I mean, unless they're both asleep, I guess it would be hard for you to. I mean, I have 3 kids, and like sometimes I'll be driving and I'm like, oh my God, I'll have Lux in the car and he'll just be so quiet. And I'm like, oh my God, did I forget my child somewhere? And I have to like reach back and make sure do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I've said this before, but my Suburban actually tells me, like, even if it's heavy groceries or I just have something in the car, it'll literally remind me if there's weight back there, reminder, check back seat. It literally says that.
Right.
I mean, I know not all cars have that, but I mean, that's definitely a feature.
Mostly like newer models do have that, I think. I think it's like a requirement.
But also, who has kids that are that quiet that you just forget?
But this is the thing where I think that they're going to find him
twins
guilty.
At that. It's not one child that fell asleep and you didn't hear them and you forgot.
But he
it's like,
also had a 4-year-old son in the car that he dropped off at a separate daycare.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is why I think it's going to they're going to find him guilty. I really do think that. And I don't know how long the kids had been in the car. It didn't really say that's not a thing.
I mean, I have Isaac at one school and the littles at another school, and I've never I've forgotten to take, I would go, and they're literally in opposite directions. So when you come out of my neighborhood, Lincoln and Lux go to the right and Isaac goes to the left. I've literally started driving to the right first, but Isaac was supposed to go first. And I'm like, let me turn around and go back to take Isaac and then take the littles. But I wouldn't, once you drop one off, you still, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like that would have, to have remembered to drop the 4-year-old son off at a daycare would indicate to me that it was intentional.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say that because I don't know, the whole situation other than what I've just read in the media. But you remember to take one to daycare, but then you didn't remember to take the 2 to daycare. And by the time that the medics got there and stuff, the girls were foaming at the mouth.
Jesus Christ.
So it's it's not, I just don't get it. And on that point, was it you that was telling me about somebody getting in an argument with somebody in a Target parking lot about leaving a dog in the car? Maybe it wasn't you.
I don't think so.
It was like a few days ago. I don't know who told me this, but I remember the story of what I was told. Someone told me that they were sitting in a parking lot of Target and the people like right next to them were having an argument. It was like a girl and a man, and there was a dog in the car, and the man didn't want to leave the dog in the car, and the girl was like, I do it all the time. And like the person that told me this said that their window was down and they were like listening to this whole thing of an argument, and then she intervened. Like she was like, you can't leave the dog in the car. Like obviously it's just like leaving a kid in the car. Like it's hot outside, the dog could die. I think I don't know if people don't realize it. I just don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do people not realize like how hot it gets in the car? Or do they think they're only going to be somewhere like for a short period of time?
Yeah, but then I feel like you're leaving yourself vulnerable to forget or to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing if you're running in $5 to the gas station and you're coming out to pump your gas and leaving. But to go into Target, you're subjecting yourself to, you probably didn't bring that dog water.
No. And anybody knows if you're going to Target, like you're going to be there hours.
Right. And it's the middle of summer. Even putting a window down, it's too hot.
Definitely.
So, I mean, if this is the winter time, no, because then the dog's going to get cold. Like, there's just no.
I just don't.
That's not a thing.
It's not a thing. Don't leave your dogs, cats, if you travel around with cats in your car. Don't leave them in the car, and don't leave your babies in the car. And I'll be very interested to see whenever this goes to trial. I don't know if do they try all of these cases, or
surely they do.
I don't know.
All right, guys, I want to take a second to talk about skincare for a minute, because I have noticed lately my skin has been changing with the weather, and I want to share a product with you guys that has been keeping my skin fresh, and that is BioClarity. It is a clean and green skincare brand that has products that just work. But for those of you who don't know, BioClarity offers easy-to-use routines with good-for-you ingredients that will give you great skin.
I personally love the clear skin routine. Sometimes I get like minimal breakouts, and it just helps clear it up really quickly. But it also leaves my skin feeling super fresh and clean, so I don't ever have to worry about like a residue or any type of sticky feeling on my face afterwards. So that's what works for me, and both of us really love it.
I actually really do love it, and I kind of go back and forth between the routines. Sometimes I have problematic skin, sometimes my skin's good. It just kind of depends on when and where I'm at, or how much stress is in my life at the time. So it is a 3-step regimen that is packed full of detoxifying and calming nutrients, antioxidants, and a super special ingredient, Floralux, which is made from chlorophyll from plants. It comes with everything you need to nurture, hydrate, and restore your skin. And it also helps with redness, hyperpigmentation, and evens out your skin tone and texture for a good, healthy glow.
Get healthier, more radiant skin by going to bioclarity.com. And right now, for our listeners, you'll save 40% off a skincare routine, plus an additional 15% off of everything on their website. That's an incredible deal, but you need to use our code COFFEE at checkout. So go to bioclarity.com and get 40% off skincare routines, plus an additional 15% off of everything on their website when you use our code COFFEE at checkout.
But anyway, on another sad note, all over the news this week was the El Paso Walmart shooting. Literally how terrible.
Yeah, I don't have words.
I mean, when I heard about it, I was like, well, it popped up on your iPhone. Do you get the notifications of like the national news?
No.
You don't? Mm-mm. So I must have some type of like, I must have turned on some type of like
unless
notification.
I get them and they go away. I don't know.
But I saw it was like a shooting in Walmart. They said at the time, whenever I first saw it, that they didn't know like how many shooters it was, but they believed it to be one shooter.
Right.
Hold on a second. Let me pull up.
That's so fucking... I know 2 countries issued warnings, I guess, for traveling to the U.S.
Where did you see that?
I think the Shade Room posted it.
Wow. How scary is that we live somewhere that people are being notified that it might be dangerous? Like, that's literally terrifying. Okay, so what was super interesting about this was that reports on the New York Post say that the mother of the El Paso Walmart shooting called the police weeks before the massacre because she was worried about her son owning an AK-style assault rifle.
Where are they getting them?
So the boy was 21 years old, and the mom was concerned that,
yeah, I would be too. If one of my kids came home with an assault rifle, I would be like, what the fuck do you plan on doing with this? And why do you have this? Like, where did you get this? Where did you get the money? How did this happen? I don't understand how we're issuing guns like this to just any fucking buddy.
And like all of these mass shootings have been done with guns that are legal. Like,
but why is that legal to a 21-year-old who has? I bet you he has no training. He's probably never been in the military.
It's funny that you say that as a mom, because the mom said to law enforcement that given his age, maturity level, and lack of experience in handling such a firearm, that he shouldn't have it, and that's why she was so concerned.
My point. This is not. We're not giving these weapons to people who are trained in the military, who have a purpose for them. We're literally giving them to any fucking buddy who applies.
Right.
It's about money at the cost of what? At what cost? The lives of people who are innocent, don't see it coming. There's 2 parents that died protecting their fucking baby. Mm-hmm. Like, could you imagine? Like, just going to Walmart on any given day to shop, and you're with your kids, and someone comes in who's 21 years old
literally
with this gun that they
supplies.
don't know what they're doing, so that the government can make money.
He killed 22 people and wounded dozens of other people.
Yep. So now those parents of 3 kids, those kids are going to grow up without both of their parents because someone wanted to play with, what was it, an AK?
AKA...
AR, AK, whatever.
AK style. It didn't say, like, specifically. Okay. It does say, though, that the investigator that's investigating this said that this shooter had posted a rambling about anti-immigrant stuff online 20 minutes before the shooting. And they're treating that as a domestic terrorist case. So says that they were going to seek the death penalty.
As they should.
And he has been charged with capital murder. So
there's other ways for the government to make money than to be selling these weapons to people who shouldn't have them.
I just don't understand. Like, and I know a lot of people, because this is, a political rant that some people will say. Mm-hmm. But if we didn't talk about it, people would say that we were avoiding a topic that was relevant, right, and that we should talk about it, and we should give our opinion about it. But when we do, then we have people go on there and say, oh, we're ignorant, or we're this, or we're that. But I did post, there was a quote that was put out by NBC. President Trump orders American flags in the U.S. around the world lowered to half staff until August 8th at sunset as a mark of solemn respect for the El Paso and Dayton mass shooting attack victims. But my whole point with that is that's good and great, and we should be flying our flag at half staff. However, I don't know how many lives that this is going to save.
No, it's not going to save any
We've done
lives.
this before in all the other mass shootings.
Right.
It's empty gestures. And I don't understand why politicians, every time something like this happens, it's like they cower down and they say, we're praying, let's send prayers.
Well, prayers are not going to prevent, I don't think,
prayers
these things
are
from
needed
happening, because they're, to some people, yeah, I think so. But I also think that they keep happening and nothing that we're doing is working. So it sounds to me like we need to try something new.
I agree.
And half-staff flags and prayers are not going to cut it.
I definitely agree. And I think that they need to get off of their ass and they need to do their fucking jobs. And that's just the facts. And if you want to disagree, that's fine. That's just my opinion. But at the same time, we both do have school-age children.
Yeah.
And a lot of these shootings are happening in schools.
And just in public places that we would take our kids.
Kids, yeah.
Walmart. I mean, come on.
It's like, should you not feel safe to be able to just go into Walmart and go on the school supply aisle and not fear to be like looking around? That's probably why so many people deal with anxiety problems in this world today, because you have to be constantly worrying, looking around. Like when I go into a public place, it's terrifying that my first thought is I need to look around and see what type of people are in here to see if somebody
but you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know.
It's terrifying.
Literally could be someone that lives next door. You literally don't know.
When I posted that on my Instagram, I was so angry whenever I saw the, shooting and got the news of it, because it's like, how many times does this have to happen for somebody to
change something?
Yeah, for them to do something and create change. And the amount of messages of people sending me stuff saying, you shouldn't be worried about gun laws. It's not a gun law problem.
But we do have to be worried, because when we all have to think twice about going to the fucking grocery store or sending our kids to a public school, I mean, yeah, we should be worried about that.
Yeah, we should. And my whole point was that, a lot of people had commented and were like, it's a people problem. It's not a gun problem.
It's both.
It's both. Which would even be more reason to have stricter gun laws, because if it's a people problem, why would we give the people access to be able to have these things? Like, I don't know what the solution is. I'm not acting like I'm like Congress and like I can come up with some type of solution. Like,
but for me, I definitely think that they need to crack down on like having stricter gun laws. I mean, no 21-year-old should have access to an AK type of rifle. Like, I just don't.
And we never talk about this on the podcast anymore. And literally, we just talked about this yesterday, that we don't talk about specific people on here anymore. But I mean, the amount of ammunition when the Secret Service showed up at, we can't talk about it.
Oh, yeah. I'm shaking my head like I already know what you're about to say. Like, I know.
The amount of ammunition that, who went out to
the CIA Well, I know the CIA went.
Yeah, and they found like his stash or whatever of stuff.
I don't know who found the stash.
I saw it on social media.
Well, he probably posted it.
Maybe he posted it. But it was like a whole stash of basically like you could do some major damage with that amount of stuff, and like bump stocks and stuff like that. Isn't that what the shooter in Vegas used, was like a bump stock and set up like different stations or whatever?
I just don't. I'm not saying nobody should own them. That's my opinion. But, I mean, there's a difference between, like, the weapons or the guns that you would use for hunting. Mm-hmm. And then there's a difference where you have what you have for protection, solely for protection.
I don't know who needs an assault rifle.
No.
Unless you're deployed.
You don't. That's, like, military issued, and they take it back when you're done, I'm pretty sure.
Right, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, I don't know if it's...
I just don't... I get so mad. I was so heated when you started talking about it, because I was like, there's so much I want to say, but I feel like I can't say it because of the backlash. I also just, like, don't... We try not to talk about a whole lot of politics on here, but I think you're right. Like, if we don't talk about it and it is relevant, then we get backlash also. So it's just one of those things that, like...
We're going to talk about it and we're going to get backlash, or we're not going to talk about it and
we're going to get backlash.
Be like, you're cowards because you didn't say anything. So that's really how I feel. I have a little one that is in school, and it's literally terrifying that I pray every single night and every single morning, like, God, please protect my child, make sure that he remains happy, safe, and healthy. And you worry about psychopaths. I mean, think about it. Like, people have access to so much stuff that you could literally be sitting in traffic and somebody get road raged and pull out a gun on you.
Oh, I'm pretty sure someone did that too.
Oh, well, yeah, I know about that too. I saw it one time.
It's crazy.
So I don't know how you guys feel about it. If you want to let us know, but make sure that you don't go on the post and start commenting to other people saying that they're wrong or that we're wrong or whatever. Everybody can have an opinion.
Yeah.
We don't know what the solution is. We don't know if there is a solution at this point, if it's only going to get worse. But it's amazing how the United States has all of these mass shootings, but everywhere else doesn't have them.
Yeah.
So I would say it's a U.S. problem.
Yeah, like a big U.S. problem, probably.
Yeah. So, on that note, do you have anything happy to say?
Happy? No.
Well,
This
you're
was a lot
moving.
of- I
this
am
weekend?
moving. I'm just hoping that I'm moved. I want to sleep at my new house on Friday. I want to sleep there. I want to settle in. I want to just, I don't even care if I'm not unpacked, but I just want to start. Like, I just want to, I've
feel
been
like
texting
it's
everyone
halted.
since like, I have, my friend's company is painting, and he's texting me this morning, like, where do you want your TVs? Like, I'll mount them for you. Like, what are we doing? I'm calling my friend, like, can you go pick up the U-Haul tomorrow? I don't get in until I land tonight at home. Well, not at home, in Philly at 9. And then I won't actually get my bags and get home probably until like 11:30. So, or 11. And then I have to be at the new house at 7:30 a.m. because I'm surprising the kids with a play set. They didn't know
That's
that I
so
ordered them a
cute.
play. So I'm like, there's just so, and then I have to film as soon as I get home tomorrow. Or I get home tonight, and as soon as I get up tomorrow, they're filming because they want to film me do everything. And I'm like, literally,
It's going to look like a Hot Mess Express.
yes. But I have to like fake the walkthrough. Like I have to do like,
Have to
I already
fake
bought
it.
the house. I've already moved half my shit in there, but now I have to pretend like I didn't put the offer in yet.
Right,
So, because they missed that whole part. And they missed me.
Well, we talked about it on the podcast.
Well,
before,
also it's
remember?
like, how do you do a walkthrough in a house? Like, how do they film you do a walkthrough when you didn't buy it? So they would be filming in someone else's home at the time. Do you know what I mean? So like
Right,
that just
yeah.
like wasn't a thing. So luckily I had to paint it before
Mm-hmm.
I moved in. And
And then Kail goes and has it painted, and then they send her pictures of it, and she's like, it's 2 different paint colors.
but it looks the same.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I don't, literally, Lindsie, when you walk in, it literally looks like the entire house is painted the same color. And it's like too
I love
much.
that.
Really?
Yeah. But I just
But
like
then what's the point of
everything to,
painting
like,
it for
flip-
that? I should have just left it.
No, because wasn't it like all different colors?
No, it was 2 colors.
Oh, it was 2 colors
That
all over.
clashed and looked very similar.
That's why you changed it.
And it was like, I don't know what was going on in here. Like,
Okay, that's a good poll. Like, if you're painting in your house, do you paint the entire house the same color, or do you go and paint every room a different color? Because
I would say you pick like 2 or 3 colors that go in the same like scheme, and then you paint it accordingly.
But do you not go on Zillow sometimes and be like,
what the fuck were they thinking?
yeah, I'll go on Zillow and I'll be like, for this reason, I'm out. Like, the
I
fact
mean,
that
the painting alone costs a couple $1,000s. So it's like, yeah, I could see someone being turned away by like, oh wow, this is like deep red. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to cover this?
I'm
and
like,
then
why did you put a
Vomit
border of like baseballs like around like the thing, and then it's like green on one side and like
let me just
purple
say
on one side.
to that
it's like
point,
weird.
like it's not really related to paint, but it's related to something similar. So while I was looking for the house, mind you, I've been looking for a year. So in this one development I went into, it's all custom homes. Well, I don't care if it's custom and you plan on living there for 20 years or it's custom and you're only going to live there for 5. To me, you always think about the resale value.
I do too.
When you're customizing a home, you have to think about what's functional and what would work overall. I went into this one house that was custom. It looked so pretty on the outside, and one of my requirements, just because I have a pool now, was to have a pool for the kids. This one,
you
on
can't go from a house with a pool with kids
right,
without a pool with
you can
kids.
go from one without 2, unless they're grown, whatever. But this house fit all the criteria. It had the bedrooms, the in-home office, and the pool. Well, I walked in, and 3 of the bedrooms were connected with no hallway, so you had to walk through the other kids' bedrooms to get to the bathroom or to the hallway. And the beds were in, like, it was like they like built them into the wall, like
that's
cubbies,
not a
like
thing.
cubbies for mattresses. And the whole time,
Like, this isn't camp or a
I walked
sleepover.
in and I wanted to be like, "What the fuck did you bring me here for?" But obviously, like, my realtor didn't realize that. It
Yeah.
just, he was just trying to match the criteria that I asked for. But I was like, when you guys built this home, like, did you not think about that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I will go on Zillow, literally, and I realize how some people just don't have brains, because I will
Like,
go
that
on
was
there.
that house was, and it was listed for way, I mean, it was outdated plus that. And then,
Yeah.
like, it probably was listed, I want to say, for like,
that's the other thing. Will says this all the time. He's like, when people have ownership in something and like they've created it, like one time we went on Zillow and we saw this house and it was like Pinterest blew up. like, it looked like the lady literally lived on Pinterest and like she did all these ideas in there.
Like DIY?
Yeah, but like they didn't make sense, right? But like it was listed for so high. And
They
it was
have,
like, 'cause she was so proud. Like, she's got,
like that personal attachment.
And I'm
you're
like, I gotta
get
rip
a
all
grip.
this shit out. Like,
Oh,
I've
that's
literally
how
got
this
to
house
gut
was.
this place.
Like, I would have to reconfigure the entire upstairs. And then I was just like, you listed it for like
you're a jackass.
$750,000. I would never pay that.
Yeah.
Never. Or
No.
like, I'll go into like some Pinterest ideas are super cute.
Yeah.
But when people try to do the DIY to save money, and then like in pictures it looks really pretty, and then you get up close and you're like, oh, it looks like my 8-year-old did this, my 9-year-old did this. It's like,
Will's made some projects like that.
I can't, like, not in a home that you own. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's something that you're trying to do or whatever, but like,
I'm like, if I'm creating an Airbnb, maybe like to make some money off of, and I want to like kind of DIY my shit.
Right. But I'm not going to like DIY my laminate flooring or like my hardwoods because it sounds like a good idea, and then I do it and I'm like, oh wow, the corners don't match up, but I'm going to stuff it with some caulk. You know what I'm saying? Do you get what I mean? And you like you see it on Instagram and it looks so good and you're like, oh my God.
I actually know a specific person
Me too.
that I can think of
and I'm
that
like,
has done this, but I cannot say the person's name.
No, I can't
like,
either.
yeah.
And I'm like, I know what it looks like in person.
Yeah.
But on Instagram,
it
I'm
looks so good.
So good.
And I'm like, how do they achieve that? Like,
yes,
Will
like,
does
wow,
this,
he's so handy. And then you're like,
you get there and you're like, this
don't
is
save
not
a couple
what it
$1,000
looks like.
and have your house looking like that.
Yeah. Like sometimes Will make a project and I'll be like, I'm glad that you like
We
took the
are
time to
probably
do
talking
that.
about half of our listeners. We should probably stop.
Okay, if you're DIYing, like that's so good for you. Like I'm so glad.
Yeah.
And if you're proud of it, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm just not a type of person that could DIY because I would fuck it up. And I don't have the patience for it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not getting out caulk and doing like all that shit.
No.
But trying to do a backsplash, like my shit would be so uneven. Like,
oh no.
Could you imagine like me doing a backsplash? Like it would probably take 12 years because I'm such a type A personality that I would like get out a ruler and like.
I would rather have the builder grade. Like, you know how sometimes you can get like the basic builder grade, whatever. I'd rather have that and it look nice up close than to try to like redo it, rip it out. And like that's why I'm having a problem with resurfacing my cabinets. It's like, I'm afraid to resurface them and someone doesn't do them nicely. And then they look like I just literally painted them myself.
Yeah. Well, at that point, you should probably just paint them yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like Lux's birthday cake, the second one.
We'll have to talk about that on the next episode.
Oh, shit.
So for anybody who's listening, if you're a DIYer, but you're like really good, then send us some pictures of your stuff.
Yeah, I want to see the corners of y'all's floors and paint and stuff.
And also tell us like if it really looks like that in person or if it just looks like that on pictures. Because I know that we are not the only people that feel this way because we both know somebody that does this stuff. Mm-hmm. So, but I think that's all we have time for.
Yeah, it was great talking to you guys or talking at you guys.
With you guys.
Thanks
Not
for listening.
At you, with you. Thanks so much for listening. We love you guys so much. And if you have not subscribed to us, you can do that by searching the Purple Podcast app on your iPhone. Type in Coffee Convos, click subscribe, click the 5th star, and leave us a written review. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.